When you bite into tacos, quesadillas, or anything else involving a traditional corn tortilla, your taste buds get to experience the result of an ancient chemical process called nixtamalization. The technique dates around 1200 BCE and involves cooking corn with kernel with an alkali solution like lime or ashwood, which makes the dough softer, tastier, and much more nutritious. Only in the 20th century did scientists figure out the secret of nixtamalization, the process that releases nextglin, one of the essential B vitamins. Archaeologist and nixtamalization expert Rachel Briggs says that the historical chemical process transformed corn from a regular food into a dietary supplement, one that cultures around the world continue to rely on for many calories. Without nixtamalization, Mesoamerican civilizations like Maya and the Aztecs would not have survived, let alone flourished. The ancient process of nixtamalization was developed in Mesoamerica, where maize was originally cultivated. There is no precise date of technology when it was developed. The earliest evidence of nixtamalization was found in Guatemala, the southern coast, with equipment dating from 1200 to 500 BCE. Now I'm going to show you how you can make corn tortillas from your home. For the first step to making masa, you have to boil some water. So you're going to fill it up halfway. And then you're going to put it to boil on medium-high heat. Okay, so we're waiting for the water to boil to prepare the corn. So this corn is field grown corn. It's also known as dented corn. You can find this at any Mexican store. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a handful of corn. I have 37 here. And then we're going to want to rinse this. Okay, so once we have the corn washed, we're going to want to put lime in the water. So this is going to make the water alkaline solution, and it's going to take the skin off the corn. When the skin is hard, so it's going to like kind of melt it off, and it'll be easier to take off. So you're just going to want to put like a scoop, maybe a little more, and then you're going to want to mix it until the water becomes cloudy. And then once you do that, you're ready to put the corn in. Okay, so now that the water is a little bit hot, we can pour the corn in now. So when you pour in the corn, you're gonna notice it's gonna change color into like a bright yellow. It's gonna take a few seconds. So it should turn like this color. It changed color. And so you're gonna wanna let this boil for like 45 minutes to an hour. And then once it's boiled, you're gonna turn off the heat and you're gonna let it sit for 24 hours. So for the sake of the video, I already done that. So once it's been sitting for 24 hours, this is how it should look. So the corn got a little bit bigger, and the corn skin should come off really easily. Okay, so this is the corn that's been sitting for 24 hours. So we're gonna wanna drain it. Okay, so we're gonna want to rinse it. We're gonna try to get all the skin off the corn as much as we can. So you're gonna want to just go like this, and the corn should come off. Okay, so now that we have the corn washed, we're gonna grind it up to make the masa now. So back then they probably would have used something like this. So they put the corn in here and then they would grind it until it became really fine. You would slowly add water until it became something like masa, but for today we're just gonna use a food processor. So I'm gonna put all of the corn in there. And And then I'm not going to add water quite yet. I'm going to wait till it becomes a little bit more smaller pieces. So I'm going to pulse it at first. And then I'm going to turn it off. So the pieces should slowly be getting smaller. So you just want to keep doing this until the pieces get smaller. Okay, so the food processor had been blending it for a while. So I haven't added any water. So this is how it should look. It's tiny small pieces. So now I'm gonna slowly start adding water, and you should see it start forming like masa. It's gonna become like a ball, and then it's gonna slowly start slowing down, and that's when you know it's ready. I'm gonna add a little bit more water. Okay, so I put some water in it, and now it looks more like dough, and this is how it should feel. So I'm gonna take this out and I'm gonna put it in another bowl, and then we can start making the tortillas. Okay, so this is how the masa should look. It shouldn't be too sticky. If it's too sticky, that means you put too much water. So now I'm gonna actually start making the tortillas. So I'm gonna grab a little handful, and you're gonna wanna make it in a ball. Maybe about this size, and you're going to place it in the middle, and you're going to put another plastic. I just use Ziploc bags. You just want to use something so it doesn't stick to this, and then you're going to place this down, and you're going to push on it, and it should make something like that. But back then they didn't obviously have this kind of tool, so you just use their hands or 2 rocks, just whatever they had. Okay, so now that I made this, I'm just gonna put it on the stove, and then you're just gonna wait till it bubbles up, and then you should flip it, and then you can make tortillas.